Today I'm going to platinum Stalker Call of Prypiat. It has 48 trophies, including the platinum. And to get started, I make a new game on master difficulty so I can knock out all of the difficulty-based trophies. Call of Prypiat is the final entry in the Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy, and I would say hands down the best gameplay-wise. The intro cutscene is shown in this slideshow style, which to me is very reminiscent of Fallout New Vegas' ending cutscene. We get introduced to the character we'll be playing as for this game, Major S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who's a special operations agent in the military and was sent to investigate the disaster of Operation Fairway, an operation in which multiple military helicopters were sent into the zone, with none returning. Interestingly, this is also the first Stalker game where the military isn't hostile to us, which after dealing with the cordon checkpoint in Clear Sky, I am 100% okay with that. After the cutscene ends and I'm given control of my character, I'm able to rush over to my first trophy opportunity. Heading over to the boiler anomaly near the starting location, I come across these two stalkers who are hunting for an artifact, one of them named Prypiat walking into the anomaly and getting severely injured. The other one named S.T.A.L.K.E.R asks me to help his friend, which I'm able to do by walking in and giving Prypiat a first aid kit. Doing this earns me my first trophy, Old Acquaintance. It also gives me a chance to collect my first of 23 artifacts that are in the game, which will be needed for the trophy Artifact Hunter. Speaking of artifacts, the detector system, which was introduced in Clear Sky, makes a return. However, this game I start with a bear detector, which is a big improvement over the echo detector. And one of the big changes that they made in Call of Prypiat compared to Clear Sky is the way artifacts spawn. Unlike Clear Sky, where certain artifacts could only spawn in some specific anomalies depending on which area you're in, and respawning being handled by a script that was broken most of the time, meaning it's very easy to end up not getting all artifacts needed for the trophy in that game, Call of Prypiat instead will have emissions occur every now and then, with each one that occurs respawning artifacts, which is a massive quality of life improvement, which makes getting all the artifacts in the game far easier. I make my way to the outpost in this area, the S.T.A.L.K.E.R, earning me the trophy Unsinkable for entering it for the first time. Here I can find multiple different quest givers, merchants, and technicians, which will all be incredibly useful throughout this playthrough. I talk to the various NPCs here, getting some tasks, and head out. The first thing on my list is working towards the trophy Under Every Rock. This trophy requires me to find all stash locations in the starting area of Zaton, which have weapons at the stash, of which there are 18 in total. Another really helpful change in Call of Prypiat is stashes no longer require you to collect the info about them in order for them to spawn loot inside. Instead, stashes will always be present and can be found naturally, whereas stash information you collect just points you in the right direction. This is super useful for knocking out this trophy, as well as just finding lots of helpful gear along the way throughout the game without needing to constantly be hunting down stash info. While I was out searching, I stumbled upon the sawmill location, which is inhabited by a large number of zombies, which gave me some of my first combat experience in the game. The shooting mechanics here are far better than they were in Clear Sky and Shadow of Chernobyl. After I cleared out the zombies, I climbed into the attic of one of the buildings and discovered a basic toolkit. Technicians make a return in this game from Clear Sky, which can be used to repair and upgrade weapons and armor. A big change from Clear Sky is instead of needing to locate flash drives with equipment upgrade info, you need to find 3 separate toolkits which unlock different tiers of upgrades. There's 2 technicians in the game, one being on the S.T.A.L.K.E.R and the other located at the Yaniv station in the next area of the game, both of which have a trophy for bringing them all 3 upgrade kits you can find. Once I finished turning in those tools to the tech on the S.T.A.L.K.E.R and upgrading my equipment, I went back out and stumbled across this cave, which upon entering earned me the trophy Mirone, Is It You? And inside I found a mutant controller, which upon killing it I was able to loot the cave and discovered my first of many antibiotic pills. These are going to be very useful for one of the trophies requiring me to survive 3 missions outdoors, which can only be done by consuming these antibiotic pills. I then met up with a stalker named Grouse to help him investigate the disappearance of some other stalkers who appear to have been killed by bloodsucker mutants. We go through this building together and end up killing 2 bloodsuckers, and then we discover a nest of them deep in the basement. This quest is important for a couple of trophies later in the game, but for now I'm told to go tell Beard about the nest and figure out how to deal with it while Grouse continues his investigation. Exiting that building put me near the first of a couple helicopters that I need to investigate as part of the main story, so I quickly interact with it, which leads into a cutscene. A little while later, I happen upon the dead body of Danila, as well as I enter this room and find Grouse dead on a table with a stalker named Tremor standing over him, who reveals that he has a hemoglobin addiction and has been drinking the blood of dead stalkers that he's been killing. And with that, the mystery of the missing stalkers is solved. Before I head back to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R to report my findings, I head to a nearby boat and encounter a man named Noah who can give me info on reaching another one of the helicopters. I also end up earning the trophy Artless for speaking with him. Interacting with the helicopter, I get yet another cutscene, as well as information on 3 possible evacuation points that the soldiers ended up traveling to. While I was out exploring, I also stumbled upon this mercenary camp, which requested that I bring them some food. In exchange, they'll let me search the buildings that they're inhabiting. Within here, I'm able to find the set of find tools. Continuing with my exploration brought me to this power station with another crashed helicopter, and my second of 3 poltergeist mutants that I need to kill for a trophy. Interacting with this helicopter gives yet another cutscene, and also a map with information on useful routes, which I can take to the guide at the Skadovsk to make traveling between the Skadovsk and Yanov station cheaper. Finally, I returned to the Skadovsk and spoke with Beard to let him know about what happened to Grouse and the other stalkers, earning me the trophy Detective. I then quickly finished up searching all of these stashes with a weapon in Zatan, earning me the trophy Under Every Rock. Right after that, I stepped outside to discover that the poltergeist had respawned at the electrical station, which I quickly killed for the trophy Ghostbuster. I went ahead and cleared out a mercenary camp, recovering the PDAs off the dead mercenaries, which is important for the trophy Trafficker of Information, where you need to find 10 various pieces of information and sell them to Owl. I then also went ahead to a nearby military convoy to collect some more information to sell to Owl, as well as a gas canister to poison the bloodsuckers in their lair. I took a quick pit stop at the Skadovsk to sell the information I recovered to Owl, as well as to restock on equipment, before I head out to the bloodsucker lair and proceed to poison it. I feel like I was supposed to be attacked by bloodsuckers while I was doing this, but for whatever reason, the 45-second timer started and I basically just stood around waiting for it to end. It's at this point I realized I made a mistake in the game. When I got to the Skadovsk early on, I spoke with Sultan and took up the quest called The Hit, where you either have to join a group of bandits to kill a group of stalkers, or let the stalkers know about the ambush and help them kill the bandits. The problem is there's trophies for going down both routes, but the mission was going to automatically fail if I did not join either side, so I decided to join with the bandits first because their route is a lot faster to complete. The second quest as part of this quest line is the transaction, where you either join the group of bandits at this warehouse to make an arms deal, or you join with a group of stalkers to ambush the bandits and prevent the arms deal. Either way, things go south and we get attacked by a large group of stalkers, which we have to fight off. Whichever side you end up supporting though, it's important to note one of the dead people is Morgan, part of the duty faction, and you'll recover his PDA. You must keep this PDA on you and not sell it to Owl, at least until a little bit later in the game, as it's necessary for a couple of trophies. So I hold on to it for now and continue down the quest line. The next part of the quest is Tempting Business, where I have to bring 3 Veles detectors to a scientist named Novikov at the science bunker in the Jupiter region. So in order to head out there, I need to speak with the guide and travel to Yaniv for the first time, which earns me the trophy, Train to Yaniv. I already had one Veles detector, but I still needed to get 2 more to complete the quest, so I find my first one at this village filled with zombies inside of this excavator. The second one I'm able to get as a quest reward for helping one of the scientists out in finding the Oasis, which is a rumored special area which contains a powerful artifact. This leads me to a tunnel system filled with the zombies and rodent mutants, but after making my way through, I find the Oasis itself and find the special artifact, the Heart of the Oasis, which upon picking it up earns me the trophy, Gifts of Nature. Turning in the Heart of the Oasis to Professor Ozerski allows me to buy the third and final Veles detector that I need from Professor Herman, and then I turn them all into Novikov here and report back to Owl at the Skadovsk. Speaking with Owl, he tells me to go talk to Beard, who ends up giving me the Svarog detector prototype, and also gives me a quest to go speak with Noah to retrieve the Compass artifact, which leads into the final quest of the questline, Shady Business. Speaking with Sultan, he tells me to bring him the Compass artifact instead, and to help him sabotage Beard's business so that way he can take it over. So I head out and meet up with Noah, who all I need to do is just talk to him and he freely hands over the Compass artifact, which also gives me the trophy Detectortive for finding at least one artifact with each of the 4 detectors in the game. Which upon returning to Sultan and giving it to him, he tells me that we also need to recover the other Svarog detectors that Beard has. Speaking to Beard and asking to help him find some artifacts will lead to him revealing where the 2 Stalker squads with these Svarog detectors are located. I simply need to go out and kill these squads and take the detectors from them and bring them back to Sultan. Upon returning, Sultan tells me to go let Beard know he'll be working for the Sultan now, and I earn the trophy, Boss. I went ahead and redid all of those quests, but this time I supported the Stalker faction instead of the bandits. When I was at Yaniv, I spoke with the Stalker named Trapper, who gives various tasks involving killing mutants. This will be required for a trophy, where you have to complete all of his mutant hunting tasks that he gives you. Along the way, I took up the task for getting the Heart of the Oasis again, so that way I could get my third Veles detector needed for the Tempting Business quest, and while here, I was able to use these zombies to get my 100th kill with a grenade for the trophy Agent F1. And then getting that third Veles detector, I went back to the Skadovsk, completing the Tempting Business quest, and I returned to Beard and this time around brought him the Compass artifact, earning me the trophy, One of Ours, for supporting the Stalkers in all the quests previously mentioned. At the Yaniv station, I found a Stalker by the name of Vano, who was in debt to some bandits, as well as a group of Stalkers who told me about one of their friends being held captive for ransom by a group of bandits. This leads into the next trophy, Diplomat, where you have to solve it without using violence. As fun as it would be to gun down all these bandits, I instead have to go to the bases and simply pay off the bandits rather than shooting them. This leads to me losing quite a bit of currency, which really isn't a big deal because of how easy it is to get artifacts thanks to the emissions respawning them, but it's still a little bit annoying. Reporting back, I earned the trophies, A Friend of Stalkers, for supporting the Stalkers both in the Skadovsk as well as taking care of the Yaniv situation, and the trophy Diplomat for solving both the situations diplomatically. While I was out exploring the Jupiter region, I happened upon this anomaly here, which proceeds to dump out a bunch of dead Ward soldiers, including General Tachenko, who has a PDA that I can loot. This is the other PDA that I need to hold on to and can't sell off until I get some trophies involving it later. Something else that I do while I'm in the region is I locate the 3 stashes of S.T.A.L.K.E.R, the main character from the first game, including finding this one which has a custom rifle within it. Each of these stashes also contains a note from S.T.A.L.K.E.R, which I need to hold on to for a trophy later in the game rather than selling it off to Owl. I also searched the last remaining helicopters within the region, which earns me the trophy, Imperfect Plans, for frisking all Stingray helicopters. With the information recovered from the helicopters, I'm told we need to find a way into Prypiat to discover the location where the soldiers likely evacuated to. This leads me to a man by the name of Zulu, who I have to work with to assemble a squad to go with me into Prypiat. I make a quick pit stop back to the Skadovsk and sell off all my information to Owl to earn the trophy Trafficker of Information for selling 10 pieces of info to him, and then I quickly reload my save to keep the Morgan and Tachenko PDA as well as the Strelok stash information. The first person that I can recruit to my squad is Vano, who agrees to join me because I helped him with his bandit debt situation, although I do have to pay for his suit, which he pawned to the merchant at Yanev. The second squad member that I can recruit is Lieutenant Sokolov, who's at the science outpost in the Jupiter region, which in order to get him to join us, we need to get him a suit, which involves me completing tasks for Professor Ozersky, earning me the trophy Pioneer for finding the 4 unique artifacts in the game. As soon as I finish this quest, Professor Ozersky agrees to give Sokolov one of the suits, which causes him to join my squad. A little bit later, I end up exploring my 18th anomaly, earning me the trophy Seasoned Stalker. I finish up some more tasks for the scientists, mainly putting scanners inside of anomalies, earning me the trophy Research Assistant for completing the scientist questline. Early on in the game, you'll meet some stalkers at the Skadovsk who tell you that they're hunting down a stalker by the name of Magpie, who has caused others to end up getting injured or killed as a result of his actions. Well, when you get to Yanev Station, you'll meet a stalker there by the name of Flint, who will tell stories every now and then about different tasks that you've completed throughout the game. Once you end up confronting Flint about his false stories he's been telling, he'll tell you to go to the quarry within the Jupiter area to speak with his friend and confirm that his story is true. However, when you get there, you'll find the stalker laying injured on the ground on the brink of death, who tells you that Flint betrayed him. Heading back to Yanev Station to confront Flint once again, he'll tell me another story, which gives me the trophy Pinocchio for listening to all 7 of Flint's stories. Before I go ahead and turn in Flint, or should I say Magpie, I take care of the final task for the Trapper, earning me the Mutant Hunter trophy. Now comes the 3 faction trophies I needed Tachenko and Morgan's PDA for. I start by making a manual save and heading to the leader of the Freedom faction to turn in their PDAs, as well as to turn in Magpie to him, earning me the trophy Courier of Justice for turning in Magpie to anybody. I then let the leader of Freedom know about a squad of former Monolith members who are led by a stalker named Strider, who are asking to join up with a faction. After watching the Freedom recruiter do his work, I earn the trophy A Friend of Freedom. I then reload my manual save and follow the exact same steps, this time with the Duty faction, to earn the trophy A Friend of Duty. This leads into the next trophy where I need to remain neutral in the conflict. So what I want to do is talk to one of the 2 faction leaders and tell them about Magpie. The reason why is that way they'll accept Strider and his group into their faction, letting me recruit Strider to follow me into Prypiat. I then want to head back to the Skadovsk and turn in Magpie to one of the stalkers there, as well as Morgan and Tachenko's PDA to Owl. Doing it this way allows you to earn the trophy, A Man of Balance, for not taking a side in the conflict, and then I can return back to Yanev, speaking with Loki again to get the squad recruited into Freedom, at which point Strider agrees to join me into Prypiat, earning me the trophy Leader for recruiting all available squad members. With my squad assembled now, I go ahead, restock with all my equipment, and tell Zulu that I'm ready to go to Prypiat, earning me the trophy Forgotten Paths for entering the underpass to go into Prypiat. The underpass area was pretty easy, all things considered. I do get my introduction to Monolith in this game, which, just like the previous 2, they are of course heavily armed and their armor is pretty good too. but overall I didn't really have many issues with them and was able to clear through the underpass pretty fast, making it to Prypiat. Exiting into Prypiat, we get surrounded by military, which thanks to this game having us play as a member of the military, we're able to make them stand down, and they bring us to their base of operations, which is the laundromat, which earns me the trophy Purgatory. In Prypiat, my primary objective is to assist the survivors and commanding officer of Operation Fairway in discovering what exactly caused the operation to fail, as well as to help evacuate them from the zone. Starting things off with ambushing a squad of monolith troops who have a Gauss rifle with them. After fighting through about 20 monolith troops, I'm able to kill them all and recover the now broken Gauss rifle. Returning back to the laundromat and speaking with Colonel Kowalski, he tells me he wants to try to figure out information about the Gauss rifle and try to get it repaired. He suggests I go speak with technicians in the zone to see what they might know about it. Before I left Prypiat, I picked up the 2 calibration tools and then made a stop off at Yanov and sold quite a bit more of the items that I had on me to the merchant here, getting me over 100,000 currency in my inventory, earning me the trophy, a wealthy client. I then went and spoke with Nitro, the technician at the Yanov station, and gave him the calibration tools, earning me the trophy, high-tech expert. Returning to the Skadovsk and speaking with Kardan, I ask him about the Gauss rifle, in which he'll give me a keycard to a weapons testing lab where they were developing the Gauss rifle. I also turn in the calibration tools to him for the trophy, Weapons Systems Expert. As I made my way to the weapons lab at the electrical substation in the Zatan region, I happened to pick up my final artifact in the game, earning me the trophy, Artifact Hunter. I worked my way through the weapons testing facility and discovered information about the Laboratory X8 in Prypiat, which is going to be useful for another trophy that's coming up soon, and also information about the Gauss rifle. I returned back to Kardan and turned over not only the information recovered, but the Gauss rifle, which he repaired for a small fee, earning me the trophy Item 62. As I was preparing to re-enter Prypiat, I got a notification about an emission occurring, so I quickly rushed outside and took some antibiotic pills, surviving the emission, earning me the trophy marked by the zone for staying outside during 3 missions. I then equipped a Snowflake, Flame, Stoneflower, and Moonlight artifact for the trophy Natural Disaster. Back in Prypiat, I realized I was almost there for the Coffee Reactor trophy for drinking 100 energy drinks, so I chugged a couple to get that. Now comes Laboratory X8, which was a bit of a pain to go through. First off, you've got to fight through a large group of zombies and monolith troops on the top side. And then once you actually enter the laboratory, there's poltergeists and burrs and other annoying mutants within that make it kind of difficult to get through. Especially because there's a trophy which requires you to collect all of the documents available within the laboratory. But after a couple minutes of fighting my way through, I was able to pick up the last document I needed, earning the Librarian trophy. After exiting the lab and returning back to the laundromat to speak with the Colonel, I'm asked to help track down a signal which he believes to be a monolith squad that's going to be attacking soon. Along the way, I encounter a pack of dogs, which I gun down, earning me the trophy Alpha Predator for killing a total of 300 mutants. After tracking down the signal and determining that it's underground, I'm told to head back to the laundromat to assist with a potential attack. However, it's just Strelok from the first game that ends up walking in. Strelok ends up telling us that he'll help out with a plan to destroy the zone in exchange for evacuation. I quickly go and speak with him and turn over all the stash notes that I recovered back in the Jupiter area for the trophy, A Keeper of Secrets. This leads to the final part of the game, which is evacuating from Prypiat. Right after an emission occurs, so that way we can see where the anomalies are at so the helicopters won't crash this time, we're able to finally head out and start pushing towards the helicopter landing zone near the theater. As part of this evacuation sequence, there is a trophy associated with it called Well-Timed Backup, which requires you to save all stalkers from Kowalski's group during the final evacuation. Most of what you're dealing with during the evacuation sequence is going to be zombies. However, there are a couple threats. As you approach the school, you're going to deal with some snorks will come out, And then a little bit further, one of the members of the squad will freak out being affected by a controller, who you need to quickly rush over and save them or else they'll end up dying. And then shortly after that, you're dealing with a large number of monolith troops armed with assault rifles and sniper rifles. The evacuation sequence is by far and away my favorite of the finale sequences in the original trilogy of Stalker games. It's a lot of fun fighting through large numbers of zombies, snorks, and other things with this squad of soldiers trying to help keep them all alive so everyone can escape. As I close in on the helicopters, I do earn the trophy Well-Timed Backup for ensuring not a single member of the squad was killed. And then as I approach the helicopters, I make another manual save right before I get close, because there's 2 separate trophies that I'm going to need to unlock. You're given a final choice when you board the helicopters to either stay in the zone or to leave the zone. Both of these choices have a trophy tied to them, so drop a save right before you enter the helis if you're going for this yourself. As I reach the helicopters, I earn 4 trophies: Irresistible Call for beating the game, and the 3 difficulty-based trophies, It's All Fake, Intelligence Agent, and The Zone Will Remember Us. And then I'm presented with the choice of choosing to stay in the zone or to leave the zone. I decided to stay in the zone first, earning the trophy, Stalker by Blood, and also experiencing the one and only crash that I had during my entire time playing Call of Prypiat. One quick reload and a cutscene later, I earn the final trophy of the game, Evacuation for choosing to leave the zone, and the Platinum Prypiat Expert. So there you have it. That is Stalker Call of Prypiat. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Call of Prypiat is by far my favorite gameplay-wise of the original trilogy of Stalker games. Everything just felt so much better during my time playing it compared to Clear Sky and Shadow of Chernobyl. I think the one area that Call of Prypiat suffers is in the story. To me, it's not quite as engaging as Shadow of Chernobyl or even Clear Sky, but that being said, it is not a bad story at all. But let me know what you think, though, if you've played any of the games yourself. And don't worry, I'm covering Stalker 2 very soon. As always, if there's any games you'd like to see me check out, please let me know, and if you enjoy the idea of making me suffer, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be going for the Wolfenstein 2 Platinum Trophy, which I am so looking forward to the idea of doing mine leapin'. Anyways, thank you for watching and all the support, and have a great rest of your day.